Hey, good morning everybody, it's Brian. Hope you're doing well today. It is our last Monday of June, Monday the 29th, and just here for a quick live update. We're going to walk through what we're looking at in Forex, futures, and have a look at the crypto markets, identify any key levels that we see that we'd like to trade from, give some trade ideas of ways that we can approach the market for the day, and then let you guys get on with it. Try to keep it under 20-25 minutes and roll from there. So one big reminder is this is going to be a short week. We have a holiday coming up here in the U.S. and it's going to be a short week for us. So some of the news that would typically happen on Friday, it's going to happen on Thursday. Big news, potential market moving news around non-farm payroll. Let's have a look at what that is. So just coming up over here, using Forex Factory. Again, you can use Bloomberg or whoever you choose. But we want to see what's coming for the week ahead. And what we do is we scroll through here. We're looking for the red reports, the high impact reports. We've got a few things happening tomorrow. Mr. Powell is speaking at 11:30, which is 12:30 Eastern time. He's testifying in front of the House committee. So that could be an interesting. I don't know that the testimony will be interesting, but it could certainly create an interesting dynamic in the marketplace. We'll see. I mean, typically the market slows down when he's speaking, and then depending on the sound bites and the things that are coming out, we could see movement based on that. Wednesday, we have a bank holiday in Canada, so for those that are trading Canadian dollars, trading forex, you want to definitely take note of that. But we also have the non-farm employment change, the ADP report, which is the precursor to the non-farm payroll report. So typically we have ADP on Wednesday and the non-farm payroll on Friday. However, because Saturday is July 4th, we're observing that holiday on Friday. So on Friday, we'll have a U.S. bank holiday, and markets won't be open, and so that reporting is being done on Thursday. So the actual non-farm payroll is coming out on Thursday this week. Again, this is one of the most highly watched announcements that's out there, and can have a ripple effect not only through our market here in the U.S. but across markets. So this is a big one. We'll have the employment rate that'll come out, as well as the employment change report. So some big news coming up this week, and a short week. We've only got 4 days this week of potential trading opportunities. So keep that in mind. Potentially even a lighter week, and as we have lower volumes, you get wider swings. You have more whip that occurs in the marketplace as market orders come in and consume the limit orders that are there. And if you have larger orders coming in consuming a smaller amount of limit orders, you get movement in both directions. It can whip up and it can whip down. So just sometimes we'll see larger ranges of movement from an average trade range perspective. Doesn't mean we absolutely will, but we can, and we sometimes do see that occur. Flip side of it is we get range bound, but we might get range bound in a kind of a wider range as that sits there. So anyway, no one knows what's going to happen. Right? No one can predict the future, which is why we have a trading plan, and we stick to a trading plan. If we could predict the future, I don't know, things would be a lot different. Probably, maybe we wouldn't have a market because everyone would be predicting what's going to go on, and there wouldn't be as much of a need for it. Who knows? Anyway, let's pop over here. What's happening today? What's going on in Forex? Let's start with the Forex side of things and have a look at our currencies. Pound, definitely our weakest currency coming into the day. Pound has seen quite a bit of movement if we look across some of the crown. If we look across some of the pound pairs that are out there, the pound cross pairs, we'll see that a lot of them have experienced already a pretty significant range of movement. The euro is the strongest of the currencies, and if we look at that euro pound pairing, it's moved 85 pips for the day on an average of about 70. So you'd want to look at something in between there. Could potentially look at the euro versus the yen. We've got a strong euro weak yen. What's that look like if we look at the euro yen? That one's moved 94 pips. Average is about 110. Low end is about 80. So, does it have the potential to continue on that additional 20 pips that we would need to see it move in order to realize some level of profit? What's the likelihood of that? Could it move? Yeah, absolutely, it could. But is it likely to? I mean, the average range is, like I said, about 110. I don't think it. It doesn't seem like a great high probability trade for us. It just doesn't seem like it's got enough to go that potential, that the rest of that distance there. Euro, there's not really a whole lot really for us. It's flattened out a bit. Potentially looking in here, see if we've got something that's been flat and then starting to diverge from one another. Another way to go. So looking at the CAD versus the yen, what's that look like? CAD yen potentially here. I mean, it's moved 48 pips, average is about 80. Yeah, that's got some potential opportunity there. Certainly, you've seen the CAD strengthening against the yen for the last couple hours leading up to this. So that could potentially be an opportunity for us as long as they continue to diverge. I'd like to see a little burst of momentum on the Canadian or a burst of momentum on this euro to really help us get things started. But that could potentially be an opportunity there, given the fact that the CAD is a stronger currency in relation to the others, but it's not super strong. It's not giving us that really strong movement just yet coming in, but it could. So that's one I'd be willing to look at. We could certainly place our an order at the top of this breakout box and see if it gets up there. If it does, great. We could take the trade. If it doesn't, then we don't worry about it. So that's a potential opportunity there on the CAD versus the yen. It's not great though. I mean, it's a flat currency that's against another flat currency. We would really need this would be more one to trade, I think, intraday, waiting to see if we get a burst of divergence that would allow us to get into a trade in real time, as opposed to just parking something looking for a breakout. So the only real breakout opportunities, again, looking at it's really euro versus something, euro versus Aussie, euro versus the CAD. Those just euro versus Aussie, actually. I mean, Aussie's not. It's not an active session. I mean, it's not an active yen session either. So, the Aussies only moved 83 pips for the day. Average is into the 120 to 170 range. So it seems like there might be opportunity there. We would need to see another little burst of divergence with the Aussie being sold off as we get into the U.S. session. But that could be an opportunity. Right now, the volume detail doesn't really support it, but perhaps with that push of momentum that gets us through the top, that might be this might flip over for us and give us that long opportunity. Weighing things out, that would certainly looks better than the euro versus the yen right now. So that could certainly be some opportunity there. Euro's continuing to give us a little push stronger. This would need, again, some momentum here from the Aussie to break it through the bottom. But that might be an opportunity as well. So nothing's really standing out. I mean, at the end of the day, nothing's really just screaming, this is an awesome trade opportunity. So we're not really seeing that right now. But I mean, if we absolutely were pushed for it, I guess Euro Aussie would be the best opportunity of all of them that's sitting there if you really had to just gun to the head, make a decision. But nothing is really screaming trade me at this point. Probably better off just kind of waiting and seeing if you get a better setup at a later time where you can just utilize the currency strength under real, under live conditions, and maybe take that burst of momentum, looking for those quick scalp intraday trading opportunities. We'll see how that stacks up. Again, kind of a funny week, kind of an odd week for us, given a short week and potentially limited volume. Not limited, but lower than average volume. So I don't know. We'll see how it comes out. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and say, this Aussie versus the euro. So the euro odd is the pair, and I'm going to park an order at the top of that breakout box, which you can see over here. Park an order at the top of the breakout box and see what happens. If it gets up there, great. If it doesn't, that's fine. That's fine too. It's the only one that I'm really seeing opportunity on, and even there, it's not great. It's not great opportunity. So probably a better one just to pass on personally. But I'll put it there and just let it go, see what happens with it. All right, moving on over to the futures side of things over here. What is happening? So off hours on the S&P. Electronic trading hours, we've been seeing a little push higher from where we finished up on Friday, but the 4-hour bias and the 30-minute bias are both short. So 4 hours short, 30 minutes short. That tells us that we'd be looking for short trading opportunities. We'd be looking for areas to be able to sell the S&P. Where would we look at that from? Well, a couple of spots. This 30.30 to 30.35 area over here on the 4-hour. Great spot for us to look at areas of resistance. So these would be resistance areas for us. So that'd be a great spot to sell off of. The flip side of that would be, watching this 3,004 to 3,000 area, seeing if we can pull back down and break through that, looking at that as a breakout to go shorter. Or of course, as we've talked about before, watching on our 30-minute here and seeing if, as we're making these higher lows and higher highs, as we're making those higher lows though, we could be trailing our entry point at the bottom of that previously closed higher low, and seeing if we push back down and break out from there. So a couple opportunities, but ultimately, because the 4-hour and the 30-minute are both short, we'd be looking for short trading opportunities. Now, of course, as we get to the, we've still got an hour and 15 minutes to go before the live session begins. So regular trading session begins. So we'll see what happens there. If this continues to push higher, the 30 might cross over. If the 30-minute is not in agreement with the 4-hour, then that tells us, stay out, stay away from it. But as long as these are in agreement, we can still look for short trading opportunities. So that's, an idea for the S&P. We talked a bit about, the resistance point up here. You can either, trade off of that resistance point as the live session, as the regular trading hours get started. If we keep rejecting off of, 30.30 or 30.35, we could sell off of that and look to go shorter. Or of course, watching for the bottom edge, this bottom side breakout, which is between that 3,004 to 3,000 area, breaking lower from there would be a great spot to sell off of as well. Or then again, what I just mentioned with the trailing that entry point up, which is another great opportunity. Over in crude, still, in agreement. 4-hour. I'm sorry, we're not. In crude, we're in a mixed bias. The 4-hour is long, the 30-minute is short. Although we've had quite a rally over the last couple of hours now. If this stays up, we'll see the green cross over the red, which would confirm long bias for both of these. And if we have the 4-hour and the 30-minute, confirmed, then we could start looking for long trading opportunities. Right now, though, they're mixed. And until that confirms, till it flips over and confirms, that's just an indication for me to say, hey, let's stay away from this until we get a confirmed bias on both the 4-hour and the 30-minute. Over on gold, we have the 4-hour is long, 30-minute is long, so we would continue to look for long trading opportunities on gold. Where would we look for those? Well, again, 1775, huge area resistance for us, as well as when it broke it became support. So we had resistance, it broke it, was supported here, then it broke back down through. It's been quite a bit of resistance again, finally broke it. We haven't seen it retested. So 1775 up to about, what is this up here? If we look at the tops of these, up to about 1777, 1778, maybe even 1780. I'd rather see it pull back a little more to get in, but if it retests 1775, certainly a great area to look to for buying opportunities there. On the shorter term, 1780 on the 30-minute has certainly been showing as a big support level here for us as well. But ultimately, gold, looking at this, we've got the 4-hour bias is confirmed by the 30-minute bias. So we'd continue to look for long trading opportunities until that flips over, if it flips over. So continue to look for longs there. Longs could look, long on a pullback back down to one of these key areas, 1780, 1775, or long on a breakout. If we can push above this 1788, 1789 area, we can break above that, then we could look to take it long from there as well. So looking for longs on gold, looking for shorts on the S&P at this point, as long as the biases stay aligned with one another, is what we'd be looking at there. So talk about some key areas for that. Over in the crypto side of things, we go over here. The bias has flipped to short on both both Ethereum and Bitcoin. So continuing to look for short trading opportunities there. This on Ethereum, 230 been a big level for us. We saw it supported quite a bit. It's broken through. It should be resistance for us now, even down to this 227 area, 226. So right now, we're looking for short opportunities. If we float back up to 226 to 228, we'd looking to sell off of that and see if we can't go shorter. If the S&P sells off some more, there's a good potential for this to push lower as well. Same over here in Bitcoin. It's flipped to a short bias. Down here, we've got this 9170, 9200 area, but 9170, even as low as 9150, as potential shorting opportunities. So if it floats back up to this key level at 9170 or near it, we could look to short that from there. If you're an accumulation strategy where you're just looking to buy more, you're just on the fence. You're just waiting right now until we get down to another key level that we could potentially be buying from. But you'd want to wait really until I think until you get a flip in the bias. So this could, if we break below some key areas here, it could push significantly lower. So no reason to get antsy. Let's be patient. This market's certainly a lot of things stacking up against it right now. So we'll see where things go. Again, we don't want to try to front run anything. We don't want to try to second guess anything. Definitely depending on which station you tune to in the news, you're going to get varying biases of what direction they think the market's going to go. End of the day, it's just an opinion. No one knows which way it's going to go. And no matter how confident they sound, they don't know what's going to happen. So that's why we have a trading plan, and we have some filters that we apply to it. Whether you use the filters I'm using here or you use a filter set of your own, use filters, apply those filters to the market. Whatever seeps through is your trading opportunity. If you have a trading opportunity, trade with stop loss, trade with good money management. Everything else works itself out in the end. That's all you can do. You're never going to predict the market. You might once in a while, but you're not going to do it consistently. So that's why having a trading plan is so important. That's what gives you the edge, right? So we've talked about the key levels. We've talked about things we're looking at in Forex. We talked about some key levels for the S&P and for gold. We talked about key levels here in crypto. So I'm going to leave it there. I had planned to speak today at a swing trading event. I ultimately gave my spot to Louis Pinto, as a buddy of mine. He's from Tampa. He lives in Singapore now. And he's going to take that spot and talk about some options trades. He's been doing really, really well teaching people to trade. Not just him. He's been teaching people to do very well trading on vertical spreads. So he's going to talk a little bit about that today, and he's going to take my spot at noon Eastern time. So if you haven't already register for that event. There's a lot of good guys speaking. Matt Buckley, Wiz Buckley, another buddy of mine. He's out of Boca Raton. Awesome guy. Really, really good options trader. So he'll be talking a bit about some of his strategies this morning, and then Louis will be talking around noon, along with some other folks. I don't know all of them that are on the event today, but if you haven't registered for it, check it out. Should be a pretty good event. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there and get over to things. The live market session, or not, I keep saying live. It's all live, even if you're electronic trading. The regular trading hours begin here in about an hour and 10 minutes. So I'm going to get my coffee, get my everything else set up, get ready to go for the day and see what happens. If we have any trades, I'll post them in here. Of course, if we take trades on that on the small account challenge, we'll talk about what those trades look like, which is a very specific trading strategy, and that's one that we're posting results here as we take trades in that account. So I'll, if we have trades today for that, I'll post them up, let you know what the outcome there is, so you can kind of track that along and just again see that simple strategies do work as long as you work that simple strategy. So that's it. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.